a way of presenting yourself. If you want to be taken seriously, uh, you have to follow business etiquette. Okay, to start with, this is something which I always tell people, and this is something which I have learned myself a bit hard way, and also these things have got momentum over the years. One is emotional intelligence. Okay, always understand where the other person is coming from. Okay, identifying with the emotions is really important. How many times have you tried this? When you go, I can't say when you go home because you won't be home right now, but when the lectures are over, okay, try this to somebody in coming days time. If somebody is really cheesed off with you, okay, really irritated with you, and the person is, about to pick a fight with you with you as a person. So what you do is, the moment you confront or meet that person, the first thing you say is, like, I say, I'm sorry. Try this as an experiment. I mean, I'm not saying you have to say sorry when you're not, or it's not my mistake. Why should I say sorry? Tuck, tuck, tuck. Put that aside for a while. Okay, but just say I'm sorry. I can guarantee you the person will be nonplussed, because he or she is expecting that he's going to pick up a fight with you. He comes with all the ammunition in his head, हमेशा ही ऐसा करते हो. January 2020 19 date, evening 7:30 you behave like this with me, and all that chronology and all the starts. Just say no. Just say I'm sorry. Okay, and the next sentence you can always say after 2 minutes is, can we discuss this? Trust me, people, the temper just drops after this, because then you are willing to have a dialogue. That dialogue can turn into a fight later on, which can happen, which is a possibility. But at least you are open to saying something, open to understand the person. Okay, this cultural intelligence point is very funny. Okay, when I was scheduled to go to UK for the first time, and I was selected by the organization. We were like running around, passport submitted, visa has come, shopping is to be done, this, that. What is something that you really need to carry with yourself and all that. People who had already been there were trying to give tips and tricks and all. So in that, we had a very crash course 15-minute session of cultural intelligence. Okay, and it was very annoying because we really had a lot of questions, and the person who was assigned to do that job had no interest in telling us. That's a different story altogether. But the one instruction he gave, which I really remembered and has have followed over a period of time, wherever I may be, I may have been abroad or I may have been in India. The first thing he said was, please do not ask about personal things, like, don't ask about what's your family doing, how many kids you have, and where's your wife working, where do you live, and all that. In India, we consider these questions to be very normal. Okay, we consider these questions extremely normal when we are asking or talking to somebody, because this is something where we connect, because we are basically a very social, how do I put it, a social unit people. Okay, so if somebody is asking me, how many people you have in your family, who stays with you, I will not get offended in India, because that's the way we connect, that's the way we understand. Okay, अच्छा तो तुम्हें अच्छा आप अपने माँ बाप के साथ रहते हो, okay, okay, fine, okay, so what does your brother do, and all? And they're pretty non-judgmental questions. I mean, I can say that, and out of 80, 100 occasions, 80 occasions, people are non-judgmental, just ask you for the information sake, that where do you live and this and that. But abroad, these questions are considered to be pretty personal. And especially if you're meeting somebody in an office environment, you're not expected to ask a personal question like this, because people think that you're encroaching my life. I want to know who's my wife and where I live and how many kids I have and all. Okay, I'm not going to take it very nicely, because I'm sitting in an office, I'm dealing with you in an official capacity, and just let's keep it at that, right? So why do you want to get into these questions? And trust me, I have over a period of time realized that even in India, people don't really appreciate asking these questions. Okay, this has been a development over the years. I don't like personally. If somebody is, if I'm dealing with someone in an official capacity, I will tell you some funny stories, that happen in family and all is fine, but restrict to that. I will not share my family details with you. Or there are people who will identify with this, but the idea is I will let you know if I have to let you know. Okay, don't push me to tell you. And this makes a huge difference in a dialogue, because then all of a sudden Indians are kind of loss of subject when you're talking to others. This forms a major part of the conversation. Okay, and then you're suddenly forced to talk about something else. Talk on topics which are neutral, weather, traffic is a very favorite topic world over. Trust me, you can always bang 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 on traffic or weather, how horrible the weather is, how good the weather is. It's very sunny, it's not sunny, go on, it's okay. It just small talk to make the person comfortable and start discussing things with you. So for that, you don't really have to talk about his family or his personal things. Oh, can you please tell me where you bank and keep all the money? Yeah, okay, no, not really. Yeah, please be courteous, please show appreciation to people. Please show appreciation to people. It makes huge difference. Admire small things, appreciate small things that are put in everyday work. Everyday mundane work people do. Um, Normally we will think, what is there to appreciate in that? Okay, it is the job of the person. But say it, it's okay. Say it. I'll tell you, 80% of the teams function on these mundane job workers. Okay. I always say this when I'm taking team exercises. One is, out of 10 members in the team, you will always have two people who are smart workers. Okay, they'll finish their work, they'll put their feet up and they're like, okay, done. Okay, two people will never work. Never work. Whatever you do, they will not work. And six people are those kind of people, who, if you give them a deadline of 28th June, okay, they will work diligently a little bit every day like ants, and they'll finish the work by 20th of June. They might not be smart, okay, they might not be extremely intelligent, but trust me, the team functions on those six people rather than the two people who are smart. These are the ones who keep it going. So in that case, please be courteous, be show appreciation to people. How many of you know this guy? Hello?
No, ma'am, I don't know.
Yeah, Ashwin, can you tell me? Oh my God, you don't know?
They might not be
He's a
knowing
very
it
famous
because
sitcom.
he's
Yeah,
not from their
right.
generation somehow.
Generation. I agreed. I thought so when I put it up, but then it was very cute. I couldn't
Right,
help it.
right.
If you know about sitcom Friends, okay, How I Met Your Mother is another sitcom which is not Friends per se, but it is a story of friends. And this guy is Barney from the sitcom, and he always believes in getting well dressed and getting dressed up and always being nice to look at. And this is a famous dialogue. I always tell you, suit up. Okay, please suit up. Okay. And he is a player, he is a flirt, he is extremely witty, and he's sucky and witty both at the same time. You got to watch How I Met My Mother for that. It's a really cute sitcom. So in a professional environment, please dress to impress, not to kill. This is a very nice way of putting it, because I have seen people. I used to take this class, these sessions for my team members. How do you dress up in the office? And trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially if you're working in an environment like BPO, okay, or back office or a media environment. They are the ones who will just want to come in flip flops and some t-shirt, and there is a open checker shirt and bermudas in the office, and you're like, why? And there's continuous argument, why are you looking at the way I am dressed up? Because I what matters is, the output that I'll give you. I used to say it's okay, the output is fine, but there's a certain thing called decorum in the office which you need to have. Okay, casuals do not mean three-fourths or degrees or flip-flops or floaters. Sorry, casuals can be smart casuals, business casuals, but you don't have to have that. I'm not. No, nobody expects you to dress up in suits every day. Okay, nobody expects you that. Trust me on this. Okay, but wear something clean, ironed. You should look good. And mind you, this makes a huge difference in your own attitude. You get dressed up and you're working for office purpose. It gives you that focus. Try this therapy. People argue with this a lot with me that why do I have to look like this? So no, you have to. You have to. Trust me. Why? Okay, let's just have this. I used to have this boss, okay, who used to come in horrible graffiti tees in the office. Okay, no, graffiti tees are not bad. Okay, but there is a place where you wear them. You don't wear graffiti tees like, shut the F up and all in office. Okay, you look at the tee and you're like, okay, fine. What is the message that you want to convey? Your clothes always convey what you want, what's your approach to work. You may not like this statement, but this is so true. I mean, I think Kshitija ma'am will also agree with me on this. That the way you dress up will always give you the impression. Will always give the impression to other people. Always. Okay. Next is okay. I have deliberately put up two guys gossiping because gossiping is classically attributed to girls. Apparently, it is not. Guys do gossip and they gossip classic. I mean, I've seen them, I've been a part of those circles. So I know they do. Okay. And it's not gender or a sexist statement or something. Please don't misunderstand me. It is just that everyone loves to gossip, irrespective of what gender you are into. Okay, trust me on this. Everybody loves to gossip. Now, why is it known as a grapevine or gossip wine? Okay, have you seen a grapevine? Basically, have you seen a vineyard? Have you seen a vineyard?
No, ma'am.
Okay, a vineyard is a huge metal structure. Okay, on which the creeper is enrolled. Like they roll the creeper around that metal structure. So basically, you don't know where is the vine starting, as in the creeper starting, or where is it ending. Okay, and that is the reason gossip is known as a grapevine, because you don't know where the rumors are starting, you don't know where they are ending. It is just that it's a rumor, it goes on. Never be a part of gossip circles. Don't take sides, don't get influenced by what people try to tell you in gossip sections. Absolutely not. Don't be a part of it. Whatever your opinions, you can have it. You can tell to somebody who is outside the organization and who's your confidant, but don't voice them in the office, especially not about your subordinate superiors. Having said that, I was searching for a little bit of content on how you should be present on social media when you're working. Okay, pointers these days are necessary because companies do check your social media profiles when they are hiring you. They do. So if you have gossiped about your boss, okay, if you have put some post or put something on Insta or even Facebook or Telegram, put something, Twitters, that your boss is this, your colleague is this, your organization is that. And before leaving the organization, it is considered to be extremely unprofessional. It is as good as bad mouthing your organization in front of other guys before leaving or after you have left. Whatever your experience, take it with you. Don't put it on social media. Absolutely. Stay away from it. Because I check if I have to deal with a customer. Okay, I do a lot of jobs in content writing and website writing and designing brochures and blah blah blah, blah, a lot of stuff. So if somebody approaches me Okay, I do check the person's Insta profile, I do check the person's Facebook profile, I do check the person's LinkedIn profile, and if there is something which is not really well, I find I am not very happy dealing with that guy. This is a very personal experience about it, and this is the way I deal. So I thought of sharing with you because um, social media is like a pressure cooker. I always say that, you release the pressure you have on your mind when you're writing on a social media, and you want some gratification of from people that you write, and people like it, give it a heart or something, and comment on it, and you feel good. Everybody feels good about it, so there's no denying. But at the same time, you need to be very careful what you're putting there. That is more like, an exposed gossip section. So just stay away from it. Okay, write something neutral, put some good photographs. Okay, and your generation is not a Facebook generation. If I'm not wrong, you're more on Insta and photographs and all that, right? So yeah, share your office photographs, your colleague photographs with their permission. I had a colleague who used to get clicked with all of us, but he used to insist that if I'm in the photograph, please don't put it up somewhere. And it needs to be respected. If I don't want to be there, please don't put me up. Or you click a photograph without me, I'll click it for you, you put it up on social media, which is absolutely fine. Choice. Aha. Swear. Oh, come on, everybody swears. Do you swear? Hello? Okay, you can say yes. I'm not going to judge you on that. It's fine. How about you? Where is my friend from yesterday? Yes, Sparsh. What about you? Yes, Sainil, Anjali.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear?
No, I don't.
That's
I
very nice.
don't.
You don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Never.
I do not.
What about you, Tanish? Nice name, yeah, Tanish.
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes. Same as Anjali.
Sometimes. Same as Anjali. Whatever you do, don't swear in office. Never.
No, no, never, never, never.
Not you. I'm just generally even in informal occasions. Absolutely not. Because see, it's a pretty cringy situation swearing. Although you might be knowing all the words, okay. But people used to be okay, fine. I wanted to say, but I mean that used to be a very humorous thing. But my colleagues have got a may agree or you may not agree with the statement. Yes, Tanish, you were saying something. Say it out loud. I mean, not loud as in scream, but kind murmur stuff. Get out, wash your face, and come back to the kitchen. That's why you do it, because a person which can cause further complication. Go someplace, blurt it out, get out, come back. But don't ever do it in the office premises. Kind. I mean, like workstation logic. Don't ever do it, even in meetings or something. I had a UK boss who had this habit of saying the F word every now and then in a meeting. And I was used to him because I had worked with him when I was getting the training. So I used to ignore royally. Okay, fine, it's okay. Maybe style, the way he speaks. But most my colleagues, one of my senior operation manager bosses, she was not very comfortable with it. She wrote to him, please don't do this when you're in a meeting. I mean, it's not really. But I'll tell you, this controlling anger thing is something which we all need to learn when we step into office. We all need to learn that because um, there are a lot of situations where things are not going to go your way, and you can't have this approach. It's my way or highway in office. You have to take everybody along. You have to work with everybody. So you can't just just say that, okay, this is it, Dad. I just don't want to work here. No, it doesn't work. Okay. Most guys prefer to go to open spaces, burn a cigarette and come back. I don't really advise this, but it helps them apparently. So
It's
choose your way.
it's
I
a
won't say the
common
cigarette.
yeah, it's a common scenario in media organizations, especially with the
Mhm.
video editors and even
Mm.
assistant directors. Basically, if you're involved in television production, na, the
Mhm.
screaming, swearing, and everything
Yeah,
is a very
I know
common
I've got a
thing.
lot of friends in media, and
Yeah.
mostly it happens when it's a frenzy. Like
Hmm.
you're going live, you're going,
Right.
going on air, and there is something missing. There's something going on, and you're pressurized because you need to check like 1,500 things around, and there's not one thing in place, and you just lose it. So it's like tough starts
True,
on that.
true, true. The
Yeah,
show
but
producers, news
yeah,
producers, they're
correct.
speaking something else, they're hearing something else,
Absolutely,
and it's
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
crazy
No, that is
scenario.
not only restricted to media, trust me. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. Everywhere. You listen to something, you're like thinking something else, and you give orders something else, and then everybody's like, what is happening around? So it happens. Absolutely happens. But yeah, I mean, I would always say that, don't have to use swear to express what you want to say. I swear, it's not that I don't. I'm not an angel there. Even I swear. But the thing is, when I swear, I know where in which company I am. So that also matters. I know people who are like 4, 5 very close to me, and then we are going for, and it's on a very personal level. If I'm sitting like this teaching, if I'm taking a workshop, if I'm working in an office, it's a very clean language logic. Right? But trust me, mostly people appreciate if you are having a good language, if you're dealing with them. They do. Everybody's favorite. Don't eat in the cubicle, please. Uh, I'll tell you a funny instance. When I was working, we used to have lunch at our cubicles. Okay, so one fine day we just received an email from our HR and admin guys that please don't eat food at your cubicles. If you're found doing so, you will be punished and blah 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 blah. So we were like, why? It's easy rather. Okay, and then we tried to convince our managers, I can eat and work at the same time, so you have to give me that consideration, okay, because I know I have a workload, I have to sit here and complete the job, so why are you restricting this? And then my manager, she was the operations manager, the entire floor of 150 200 people reported to her. So she said, अच्छा इतना काम होता है आपको 15 मिनट खाने के लिए नहीं भी निकाल सकते कुछ तो मैनेजमेंट में गड़बड़ है आपकी your time management is slightly ori if this is happening, that you're not finding 15-20 minutes to go to the canteen and eat. Okay. Which secretly I agreed. So then people were also smart. Then we used to have two breaks at 5 o'clock, 5 to 5:30, and then we used to have 9 to 9:45 for the dinner. I worked in a UK shift, so 4:55 people used to close the system, go down, have a break, come back. Okay, 9 o'clock shut down, go have food and come back. But that actually instilled a discipline of work. Now, there are a couple of reasons why you should not eat at your cubicle or at your desk. Okay. Indian food, especially, tends to carry a lot of strong aroma. Okay. Like it could be onions, it could be garlic, it could be the sauces, it could be the curries. And it's very unnerving for the person who could be in the adjacent cubicle. Okay. I personally would not like something nice smelling coming to my way, and then I'm not able to eat it. You can understand the tragedy, right? I'm a foodie, heart to heart. So if something is smelling nice in the adjacent cubicle, I get to peep, but I don't get to eat. Not a good situation. Jokes apart, but uh, yes, the thing is, the wafting smells tend to stay in a enclosed environment. If you're working something like a closed environment with ACs, with windows shut or windows partially open, the aromas or the food smell tends to stay, and it's not a good thing. Apart from that, we also were restricted to have food on the at our cubicles because rat infestation. it happened that there were some crumbs and the rodents, and they actually chewed the server wires off. This has happened. I'm not telling you any मनगढ़ंत कहानी नहीं है, ये हो चुका है. So the rodents chewed the server wires, and the office and the floor got shut down for a day till the wires were restored. And it's a manner loss, it's a resource loss. So no, don't eat at a time. Go out, eat outside, and come back. Okay. This is a session by itself, but I've tried to compact or compress most I can think of. Facial expressions, yes, a lot. Eye contact, please keep an eye contact when you're talking to somebody, because if you want people to listen to you, you need to maintain the eye contact. Now, this eye contact thing is slightly funny when it comes to girls. Okay, I'll explain just a second. Yeah, what is eye contact thing funny for girls? Okay, अपने आप ना आंखों में आंखें डाल के देखना is something which is not very comfortable for girls. Really looking into somebody's eyes and talking. Not like that obvious, but yeah. Why? We were trained that way. Culturally, we were trained that way. Okay. So you're looking at somebody and like, अभी यार ये अभी मेरे बारे में गलत आइडिया करके लेगा. That comes somewhere. You don't really do it on purpose. It just pops in your mind. So what do? You have to look at the person and talk, right? Look here. Look here. But keep your chin up so that the guy thinks, okay, she's looking at me. Funny, right? But kind of. Especially when you're talking in camera. It's still better because you're looking directly in the camera. But if you're talking to the audience, standing on the dais and you're talking to somebody, talking or delivering a lecture from the dais, how do you maintain an eye contact? See, generally, visually divide the audience into sections. Okay? Keep looking at each section while you're talking. That gives up to people, okay, he's interested in talking to me because directly looking at me, where you might not be looking at the person directly, but it gives an impression that you're talking to someone, every person in the audience. That way it works. Maintain personal spaces. Every person has got a personal zone. Not every person is comfortable coming close. The definition of close changes from culture to culture, country to country, person to person even. Okay, for example, it is considered a personal zone for girls is slightly bigger than guys. That girls don't certainly appreciate somebody coming directly and standing in front of, like, right in front of the face. It doesn't happen. They're not very comfortable. So even girls talking to girls, women talking to women, even the zone needs to be maintained. Gestures, hand gestures, the way you will. This is a very close gesture. So if you ask me a doubt and I'm actually sitting like this, and I'm not really interested in listening to what you're trying to tell me, I have a very closed body language. Okay, or stuffing my hand in my pocket and I'm listening to you. So it actually gives an impression that I don't care a damn here what you're trying to tell me. Sorry. Okay, but I'll listen to you anyways. Touching is an absolute no. You can touch, it's not that, handshakes, formal touches are okay. But yeah, keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. Voice, especially on the phone, be soft, but you don't have to be, breezy. Soft is, tonal quality should be soft. Talk in a clear voice though. The person has to understand what you're trying to tell him. Kshitija, I'm sorry, I have to really wrap this slide because the thing is, it is extremely difficult to cover this slide in 5 minutes thing. This is a session in itself. I can. If you want me to come back,
Absolutely.
I'm kind of slipping my note. If you want me to come back and conduct
No,
the session, I'll come back.
we are definitely interested,
yeah.
and I'll let you know. But yeah, it's fine if you wrap it up right now.
Yeah. See, I booked my next session. That's what it
Absolutely.
is. Okay, meeting etiquette. Ah, meeting etiquette is okay. One more thing I forgot to tell you about this. Okay, if you are called for a lunch, business lunch, or a business dinner, okay, like if you're somewhere in France, most business deals get signed off between 12 to 2. France is notorious for having a 2-hour lunch break. They have a 2 hours of lunch break. 2 घंटे का lunch break होता है उनका. Okay, they'd like to sit with. It's a social thing, you know. They like to sit with you. They like to have a glass of wine with you, know your views, share your views. It's a very social thing for them. Once you're comfortable there, you know, the deals are signed off really fast because then they know you. You know, this is a very typical English term known as breaking the bread. You know, when I break the bread with you, I'm very comfortable dealing with. Okay, so they have this. But if you are going, you're invited for a business lunch or a business dinner, be there on time, most importantly, dress up accordingly. If you are expected to dress up formally, check it out if there is any dress code. If at all, follow the dress code. Don't order food till the host ordered. Wait for the host to order. Don't go for the high end menu. Okay, so even if you find like it's a 50, you know, what 500 rupees steak or a good menu, you know, go for something moderate, which will fill you up, which will not sound cheap and all that. Drinks, yes, this is a great thing. Never drink and come to office. Abroad, everywhere, having a glass of wine or a beer is accepted because it is considered okay. In India, most organizations will have a policy of non-drinking and not coming to office under drug and alcohol influence. And if you're caught, you could be terminated. So, no. So that's one thing. And yeah, generally, this is very funny instruction, but this works. If you're going for a business lunch or you're going for a business dinner, uh, eat something and go. तो तुम बोलोगे यार मैं खाने के लिए तो जा रहा हूँ, मैं घर पे क्या खा के जाऊंगा. Now the reason is sometimes the discussions take longer and the food follows. Okay, if the host is aware enough, what he will do is he will order first. Okay, and he will, as the food comes, he'll keep talking. So food and talking happens simultaneously. So you're not. But if you're hungry and it takes some time for the person to place an order for the food, trust me, you will get diverted. You will be keep thinking about food rather than focusing on what a person is trying to tell you. Okay, so eat something. Don't don't stuff yourself, but then eat something which will, you know, support your system. Like, okay, otherwise you'll have a rumbling stomach and the guy will ask you, अच्छा मैंने आवाज कहाँ से सुनी. नहीं सर मेरे पेट से आवाज आ रही है, बात बंद करना बंद करोगे प्लीज, खाना खिला दो यार. So the focus gets lost. Yeah. Okay, also meeting etiquette. I have been talking about meeting etiquette for a while. So this is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just suggest 2 or 3 things from my side. Uh, don't ask questions and questions and questions in a meeting. We call them questionnaire talkers. Okay. What are questionnaire talkers? Well, me, Tanish, Anjali, Sudhanshu. I'm just picking names which are right there in front of me. Okay. 3, 4, and Kshitija ma'am. We are having a meeting. Okay. Now Kshitija ma'am has made an extensive PPT, everything, and she has explained every point to, you know, nitty-gritties and everything when she is talking about it. And then I start questioning. Okay, ma'am, what about, you know, can you go to slide A? Can you go to slide B? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then I practically ask for her to talk, which she has explained painfully. And she's explained everything. And then I keep asking and I keep re-clarifying and saying that, you know, half I make her talk half already said. And other people like Tanish is probably waiting his turn. अरे यार ये मैम move on करेगी तो मैं अपना कुछ पूछ लूँ उनको. Maybe his question is really important. Maybe Anjali is thinking, okay, I need to know what are the timelines for this. You know, how is this going to work on? Sudhanshu is thinking something, but you never get a chance to talk because as per meeting etiquette, you're waiting for me to stop, and I never tend to stop. Okay, so don't do this in a meeting. Ask questions that are pertinent. Ask questions that are really okay. Or sometimes, you know, some questions you can take one-on-one post meeting. After the meeting is person and you sit down and have a discussion, which is fair enough. Okay, even ma'am will appreciate it. But if you're sitting in a meeting, talk, 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 बाकी के लोग भाई इसका हो गया तो मेरे को उठा देना. No, I just might as well doze off. Thing. So that's one part. Uh, Generally the custom is, you know, let your seniors start the discussion and then it is usually followed by juniors. So that's not a written protocol, but that's kind of an understanding. uh, Whatever is discussed in the meeting stays in the meeting. You might actually pull each other's hair off and you know, yeah, you might fight, but that still stays in the conference room that you kind of understood. Sorry. Yeah, I just love this chart. Okay, what is this chart? This is the online meetings we like. Okay, the actual content you speak is in the red. Okay, relief at seeing other human beings, checking out co-workers' houses, uh, and then you have the back of your mind that, oh my god, why didn't I take a shower? I should have gone into the shower before and, you know, clean. And I would have looked more presentable. Uh, Removal of the cat from the keyboard, removal of kids from the bedroom. Maybe I move the camera up higher. You know, I might as well. The person can see this portion, and maybe, you know, he will not able to see what I'm dressed up as. So it's okay. Okay, you do my features. You know what? I suddenly realized that I have a very uh, pretty good nose when I started teaching online. I'll tell you the reason why. I always considered myself to be a button nose. Look into the camera, and when I see my own reflection there, I'm like, okay, I'm not as that bad. I'm pretty okay. I can do well. So yeah, so that's what it is. So you suddenly start noticing yourself. Oh, okay. This is a touch of gray a bit more. This is a touch of, you know, black bit more can take. But the actual content in the meeting discussed is 2%. Okay, but how online meetings should happen before. If you cannot attend, decline the invitation. Don't accept the invitation and say no. Okay, you can say no. It's not that, but please, you know, inform the person on time. Check the quality of the device. Okay, I'll tell you the classic logic that happens. Okay, all of us jobs, and then suddenly one day the notice comes, update and shut down. Okay, you update and shut down, and then you completely forget that the system has to reboot when you switch it on. Okay, and that rebooting takes ages, especially when you're in a rush. Yeah, it takes ages, and you're like, okay, 83%, and the data stuck at 82, 83, and 86% doesn't move. And you're like, move. You know, you want to check, take the laptop and kind of shake it. You know, move, guy. I would have a meeting. Nah. What do you do? What do you do? Switch on your phone, sorry, laptop, some 10 minutes prior. It takes all its time to set the system. Okay. Be in a quiet environment, which is not going to happen, especially in the work from home era. This is considered to be an norm these days, that there is going to be a surround sound. Okay, like my mom is working in the kitchen right now, or there's going to be a pressure cooker whistle, or there's going to be a mixer doing ring thing. Okay, or somebody's talking in the house. You can't expect everything to shut down because you're working, you know, uh, sitting at a corner. So today it is considered to be pretty normal. People take it normally unless you are like really into noisy situation where, you know, kids are running around and there's a lot of fight going on. Or there's a lot of surround sound that is going on, then people might actually want to tell you that, please mute yourself. Muting helps most of the time. Use mute button when you're not talking. Dial on time. Don't overdo the roll call. Okay, who's present? Who's there? Who's not?